Welcome into Sports Around the Bar. As always, I am Jake, and today I just want to make a quick video talking about the Dallas Cowboys signing Andy Dalton. Now, I've been talking to a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans over the past couple days about this signing, and it seems like everybody's torn. I mean, there's some people that are on one extreme where they're talking about how this is a betrayal of Dak Prescott and how the Cowboys are moving on, and the other side of things saying, oh, he's a backup, he's not worth the money, we could have gone out, we could have signed Cam Newton. I've seen some people say it's a good signing, but for the most part, I see a lot of people kind of bashing the move, so I just want to talk about it for a minute and kind of go over why I think this is actually one of the better moves in free agency here. First, let's break down why it's such a good move for the Cowboys. You're getting a quarterback with 9 years starting experience that averages somewhere around 3,500 yards a year through the air, close to a 2-to-1 ratio when it comes to touchdowns to interceptions, does a decent job handling the ball, and has done all of that with an inferior offense to the Cowboys. When you look at what the Cowboys have right now on paper, you go down the list of position groups, you could argue that they've had better everything than the Bengals have had over the past 4 or 5 years. Now, you could say back when the Bengals were good and Andy Dalton was taking him to those 4 playoff appearances when he was a young quarterback, that they had a better offense than they do now, and that's fair. But again, quarterbacks mature, quarterbacks kind of grow, and now you're getting a starting caliber quarterback at least, who's on a $3 million contract to come in and back up Dak Prescott so that if an injury happens, you've got a guy that should be able to come in and with these weapons, at the very least, give you somewhere around average quarterback, maybe even to above average quarterback play. Now, I don't expect him to come in and start. He's not going to beat Dak Prescott out. Even though I like Andy Dalton as a player, at this point, the Cowboys are still in that, do we pay Dak? Is he truly our franchise quarterback kind of question-making mode right now? So there's no real chance of him starting. If we do get to the point where the Cowboys eventually put Andy Dalton in as a starter, that will be the end of the Dak Prescott era in Dallas. I believe that wholeheartedly. Dak will move on. Any kind of battle they've had over contract disputes, there won't be a number high enough to keep him around in Dallas. So the Cowboys will need to tread carefully a little bit. Even with injury, he needs to come out immediately as soon as Dak's ready to go if it's a minor injury. But outside of that, you're getting a high-quality backup quarterback for below market value for the simple fact of what Andy Dalton gets out of the deal. So let's talk about that. Andy Dalton, plain and simple, looked at Ryan Tannehill in his season last year and said, I want that. Now, I know he talked about how the Bengals releasing him this late kind of hurt his chances of finding a new team, and I believe a little bit of that. But more than that, I think this was probably going to be the plan anyway. It was very unlikely he was going to go and find a starting spot somewhere just with the starting quarterbacks, and as many young quarterbacks are in the league right now. I just didn't see a team out there that would say, yeah, give me Andy Dalton and I can win a Super Bowl. So realistically, this has been his path the entire time. Now, there were reports out there he's turned down offers from 4 other teams to sign with Dallas. Why is that? If you're Andy Dalton, the thing you're looking for, and Jameis Winston falls into the same category, is put me on an offense that if I get my chance, I'm going to be able to come in with all the weapons in the world. We're going to be able to run. They're going to be able to protect me with the offensive line. I'm going to have multiple wide receivers to throw to, and I need to go up and have just the Renaissance kind of year where everyone looks at me differently because I had this year. That doesn't happen unless you wind up on the right team, which is why I think when he saw teams like the Steelers reportedly offering him a contract, he kind of turned his nose up at it because they just don't have the weapons in the skill positions that the Cowboys have. So if you look at it, it really makes sense for both sides. I know there's some Dak supporters out there that are kind of feeling a little hot under the collar, thinking this is a backup plan for the Cowboys in case they don't get the Dak deal done. And it kind of is. I mean, realistically, if you're the Cowboys, you don't want to be left swaying in the breeze when you have all these weapons on offense and you have so many big names on defense, even though that still needs a little bit of work. You just don't want to be left holding the bag if Dak Prescott decides that either he's not going to sign this franchise tag or he will sign the franchise tag, play one more year, and then get to the point where you can't afford to franchise him again. So it's a little bit of an insurance policy for Dallas. It's still that backup quarterback that you're getting that's going to be a high-caliber backup, and it all comes supremely cheap. So for them, it makes perfect sense. The only one who loses here, in my opinion, Dak Prescott. So, again, he's going to have a little bit more competition pushing him this year, even though, again, I really don't see that spot in danger. He is going to have a competent backup behind him, and maybe the backup plan that drives his ultimate asking price down a little bit. So unless your only allegiance lies with Dak Prescott getting paid by the Cowboys, you don't really have anything to worry about with this deal. Again, Smart move by the Cowboys, upgrades them at a backup position, brings in a high-quality relief pitcher in a sense, and sets them up for the future. Makes sense for Andy Dalton as well, because he's getting that, maybe I get the next chance to prove that I'm worthy of a starting job. So anyway, what do you think about the Cowboys signing Andy Dalton? Does it make sense? Did I forget something? Am I leaving something out? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching with us, and we'll be back soon.